Hello, welcome back. Another episode of the Produce Moms Facebook Live. And I'm really excited. We are in my home kitchen again, and I've got a friend with me, which is so fun.
Hi.
This is Katie Mann. She's with Indie with Kids. As many of you know, I live in Indianapolis, and Katie was actually one of the very first people in the blogging industry that I connected with. Being an Indianapolis mom myself and starting the Produce Moms, I was like, oh, like there's some correlations here. And so reached out to Indie with Kids, met Katie that way. Katie's been a huge part of my journey. You know, she's helped me with all sorts of stuff. You know, when we started some of the work that we were doing with brochures.
And the kids meal campaign at the restaurant.
Yeah, we've worked with Katie as, you know, we've supported her efforts and she has certainly supported ours. And, you know, I just think that's so important and unfortunately too rare with women.
Right.
We don't have enough people who have that collaborative spirit, but I'm so thankful for yours.
As am I.
So it's been a true joy getting to know Katie. And, you know, she's recently helped me quite a bit with, you know, starting the Facebook Live. Some of you might not know this, but she goes live through Indie with Kids every
Tuesday night.
9
p.m.
9 p.m. after the kiddos go to bed.
Yep.
Pour yourself a glass of wine or whatever, you know, LaCroix.
LaCroix, anything you want to drink.
And check it out. It's very entertaining. And so anyhow, with all the changes that we've had at TPM with our Facebook Lives, Katie has been a huge help. So she's here, and her awesome husband's actually helping us behind the scenes with the audio and the cameras. And so thank you so much to Katie and Jacob with Indie with Kids. And it's a real pleasure to have you here in the kitchen with me.
So glad to be here. I love what you do, and I can't wait to dive in.
Have you ever had a cauliflower crust pizza?
Never. It's not even on my, I wish I could try that list. But today, seeing it, I might change my mind.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see this totally looks just like a regular pizza crust, right? And you'd be surprised probably to learn that it's cauliflower, eggs, and cheese. So there's our cauliflower. I'm going to pull this because it'll be hot coming out of the oven. So the cauliflower that we use, make it very easy. You've probably seen these in the produce department, right?
I have.
So
do they make rice with it? Is
yes,
that kind of the big thing?
Yes. So you guys have probably seen these bags. They are sold in pretty much every produce department now. And this is called Cauliflower Pearls. This one's from Taylor Farms, but wherever you shop, they're going to probably have something similar. The bags, you can actually steam right in the bag. So I'll show you how we take it from the steamed cauliflower pearls, which is just grated cauliflower. So you could use a food processor or a cheese grater and go to town with your whole head of cauliflower and get the same effect. But it's not that much more expensive, and it saves me a ton of time.
I like simple.
That value-added section at in the produce department is 100% where I spend probably most of our household budget on produce.
Worth it.
So this is just a tea towel. It's like a light linen towel. You could use paper towel here if you want. But if my friend Nikki is watching, Nikki is the one who taught me all about sustainability. And anytime you can use something reusable, do it. It's important. So you'll see it's hot. So we're just going to drain out the liquid, and you can see how that's
a lot of liquid.
Yeah, so cauliflower, actually all your vegetables are full of water.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, I mean, and it's a great way. They say that like when they have that recommended amount of water that you should drink every day, they don't always factor in the food. So if you drink a little less, even though more water is good, that there's still that in your foods if you're eating a balanced diet.
Right. So we got this towel almost completely soaked now, but you'll see how easily, even though it's a linen towel, how easily that food just falls right out. Of course, you want to make sure your towels are clean if you're using them in the kitchen like this. Always wash your produce. Always start with clean hands. That's very important. So these are our cauliflower pearls. They're very hot right now. Wow. And so what we will do, eggs. You want to crack one egg in there?
Oh boy. Okay. No shell, right?
Is that,
I can
do it.
Ideally
not.
Into there, right? You want them
right in there?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We're gonna see how well we made eggs last night for.
You got it.
Coloring. There we go.
Oh, that's good. All right, just put the shell right back in there. All right, so cauliflower pearls steamed, 1 egg, and then this is just a blend of Parmesan cheese and Italian cheese. So I'm going to add that in there too. This is also when you would, you can season this. I've used garlic salt, I've used Italian seasoning, any of those work. So for anyone that doesn't do, that wants to keep this like vegan, the way that you would do that, I'm not. I'm a lover of all food.
Equal.
But aquafaba, which is the juice in your beans, your canned beans. Did you know that that's like a miracle food?
No, I just figured it was like, what is it, like water and salt is what I thought.
It's just it's what the beans just sit in it. I really don't know what it is. It's called aquafaba though, and it can be used as an egg substitute. So I guess we'll look that up and
that is like a
definition. Yeah, add a definition of what is aquafaba. Like how does that happen? But it's the juice from your canned beans.
Wow.
And always that's been trash, right?
Yeah.
And just drain it out.
Drain it, rinse it.
Right.
That makes it does. I'm thinking of the consistency. It's just like an egg.
Right. So then the way that you get this started, you can start with parchment under here, but I don't know if I do have a piece of parchment paper over here. Nice and loud. There we go. We'll do that just so it doesn't, nothing's worse than going through all the trouble of baking something and it sticks to the pan, right? So, and then if you don't want to do the cheese, you could use a cheese substitute like like nutritional yeast would be perfect. So, thanks, girl. And then this is the part that the kiddos love.
Yeah, give that to them.
You can use.
That's why you brought me today.
I use it. Yeah, right. I use my hands all the time in the kitchen, which is why it's important to keep them clean. And you just press it out.
I love how the cheese is just like melted into it.
It does. So you have to have a binder. If you are going to do a pure cauliflower crust pizza, you have to have a binder. Like a lot of the crusts that are sold pre-made, flip those over, guys, and look at the ingredient list. A lot of them still have a flour of some sort in them.
Okay.
A lot of times you'll see like a rice flour so that they can still market it as gluten-free.
Right.
But nonetheless, like you're not getting a complete 100% vegetable crust. And so this is a great way. Now another trick I have on how to get the liquid out, because you can see this as I press it down, you can still see there's probably a little bit too much water content, frankly, but it'll cook up just fine in the oven.
I can't believe how perfectly round that is. You are so good at this.
So now this is step one that we did before the show. We're gonna put this pan in the oven, bake it for about 10 minutes, and then we'll have this, which is, your par baked crust. You'll see it's not completely crispy yet on the bottom. That's because we are going to top it now, and then we'll put it in the oven and it'll be crispy. So, all right, I'll go ahead and put this one in the oven. Great. So let's kind of clean up this mess a little and do the fun part, which is decorating the pizza. Okay.
This is what my kids like.
I know, right?
This. Like maybe even more than eating it sometimes.
Okay, so favorite pizza toppings? Everyone has one.
Very simple, like red sauce, pepperoni and cheese girl.
Right.
But I do love a good barbecue chicken pizza.
Oh, I do too. So I got simple stuff. We could maybe do a half and half. And I'm high maintenance pizza girl. My favorite is to use a ricotta cheese and artichoke hearts, butternut squash, and then I put some sort of tender green in with it. Sometimes I'll use a fresh sage, or I have baby spinach here today, and then I love to finish it with a infused olive oil. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous.
Like none of that has ever been on my pizza. And now I don't know. Ricotta cheese. I'm excited to see that happen.
So I will say though, I love a good pepperoni pizza. Don't get me wrong. Like that's what I eat 90% of the time because I eat
available.
Pizzas with family, right? And so. Trust me, I can't get my kids to eat the ricotta cheese with the artichoke hearts and all that.
That sounds so interesting.
If you get like an artisan pizza, it cannot be beat.
Well, and on this crust, that seems totally appropriate.
Right. So I'll do this half, and you can do that half however you want. So I have fresh mozzarella. I'm going to use this whole milk ricotta. There is also, this is a blend of Italian cheese and...
And did you blend those yourself, or did you buy it that way?
No, I bought you've seen it. It's like the Italian cheese blend.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So it's like mozzarella, Romano,
just
and
all
Parmesan.
together.
And then I added some extra plain just Parmesan. So it's a little bit heavy on the Parmesan.
So do you go to the end of the crust here, since it is like a flat crust? Or the edge or whatever?
Yeah, I totally do. I don't know. The beautiful thing about pizza is are there really any rules?
No.
Yeah.
Nope. That's kind of why kids like them so much, especially those little make your own kind of things that you can do at home like this. You know what'll be really good is the middle where these sauces and your cheese blend.
I agree. So mine is, I obviously am not afraid of cheese.
Yeah, that's some cheese. That is some cheese.
Love the cheese. Here, I'll put some of this olive oil on there.
So you put it on right. Okay, so you're not doing a sauce of any sort.
Just
the
a
cheese
white
will melt.
base. The cheese will melt, and then it'll fuse with that
olive
oil.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the other question: pepperoni first or cheese first? Or
You know what I do? I do with pepperoni. If I eat a pepperoni pizza, I want it to be like loaded with pepperoni. So I would do both.
Both. All right.
Yeah,
that sounds really good. My mouth is watering.
Yeah. Here's another trick on how to save time at the produce department with the value added. This is just a diced butternut squash.
Okay.
So funny. I had these out getting ready for the broadcast this morning, and my husband thought it was cheddar cheese cubes, and he almost had it for breakfast. And then he read the label. He's like, "Oh, never mind. I don't want raw butternut squash." But
I've never heard of that on pizza.
Oh, I love it. And so you could, depending on the consistency that you want, these artichoke hearts are steamed. It was a thing of frozen artichoke hearts. I love artichoke hearts. I prefer fresh, but sometimes it's really convenient to just do the steamed, ready, the stuff that you can throw in the microwave. And they have a great selection in the freezer section of, all sorts of different veggies that are ready to be steamed in the microwave. So, but what I was getting at is these are steamed. The butternut squash is raw. But you could steam it first if you want it to be super soft. But I kind of like having that texture of like the semi,
the crunch a little bit.
Yeah, especially since these artichoke hearts are fully steamed. This is hilarious.
Your side looks way more nutritious.
Indie with kids and the
I'm
produce
so
moms.
basic.
I love it. No, I love it.
I'm so basic. Oh, and did you want your greens?
I probably should put a little bit of, I forgot about the spinach.
They're washed. I love that.
Oh, yeah. So,
I would put spinach on my side.
Would you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I do like spinach.
Love spinach. So I will say that with these salad kits, we get a lot of questions at the produce moms. If I buy a salad kit, do I have to wash it?
Yeah.
The answer is no. Like, that's the point of these. They're ready to eat. They're,
right.
In most cases, they're triple washed. You're not going to be able to get it any cleaner. So you leave
the stem on?
Yes.
I'm picky. I'm not a stem girl.
No?
No, I was actually going to watch and see what you did. No, I like mine to be soft. Do you like the crunch?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
That looks so pretty.
It does look pretty.
It does look like children made it, though. Because it's like...
Doesn't that look good?
It's so different,
Yes.
And
so
colorful.
This goes in the oven for... Well, just until it's done, right? I mean, do you overthink? Are you a recipe follower?
I look and I see when's the cheese melted, and especially since you've already cooked the crust.
There's nothing. So the crust is par baked. So I would say that 350 to 400 degrees, like depending on how much.
What does that mean, par baked? I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. Pre-baked, like you're halfway there, so you're par baked.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
You said it twice. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. So
education for me today.
So we use par baked a lot from the culinary perspective. I mean, I'm not culinary arts trained, but I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of chefs through my job. And so the term par-baked, I hear it more often with baked goods like, breads and doughs and stuff like that. I don't hear it so much with other things. I mean, I guess you could say like I'm par-baking a lasagna and I'm going to finish it off in the oven tonight at home, So I guess it's not exclusive just to like baked goods, But
this is a dough, it makes sense.
Yeah. So go ahead and get this in the oven. This one's coming along, but it's going to need some more time. So I'll crank up the temperature there. So let's tell everyone a little bit about, while that's getting a little crispy, let's tell everyone a little bit about Indie with Kids. Like, how did you start it? Because I think these stories are fascinating. And most of the people that follow the Produce Moms are aware of, how my journey started. I worked for 10 years selling fruits and vegetables to grocery stores in a 16-state corridor. So that's how I know what I know. And the Produce Moms actually started as work for hire when I was employed at Indie Fruit as a marketing initiative for, the wholesale distribution stage of the supply chain. So that's my backstory. But what's yours? Like, Katie's from California. How did you end up being like one of the top spokespeople for Indianapolis?
Indianapolis,
yeah, Indianapolis parents.
I think that part of it is that what you don't know, you seek to find information about. When you started out, I'm sure that a lot of your knowledge came from trying to find that information.
100%.
Yeah. So I moved here from California. I had no children. I worked for a church youth group. And in my phone interview, they said, what will you take us to do? The kids asked me, like, what kinds of things will our youth group do? And I had never been to Indiana in my entire life.
Right.
And I said, I don't know, but I'll find out. And sure enough, I did. I spent a lot of time figuring out what can I do with my youth group that's low cost or free.
Right.
And also, what do kids in Indiana do? It is like kids have fun. It is a little bit different because of the climate and things like that. And so then when I had my own children, I just started telling people on the internet what I did with my baby that day, because you don't do a lot with babies, but with my lifestyle, I just wanted to be out and doing things.
Right.
So I'd take this baby to things that were not meant for babies and have a good time, because you're a family, you do what everyone enjoys. And so then I put it all on a website and people responded. And now we are one of the largest websites in Indiana dedicated to things for people to do.
She's a total rock star. And one of her most popular blogs, in my opinion, it has to be, because I go to it all the time.
I'm guessing Kids
Eat
Free.
Yes,
it is.
It's
Kids Eat Free.
a calendar that tells you every day of the week where you can take your kids and they eat free. And I'm like, oh goodness.
And you can go, every week you go, there's so many places that offer that.
That has to be one of your top.
It is one of our top. It's also like the bane of my existence, because if a restaurant changes, then you have to, people tell you, they get mad. Like, I took my kid here and it wasn't free. And you're like, oh, well.
Yeah, as your audience grows, changes your level of responsibility with what you do. We certainly have experienced that. The Produce Moms, going from a very humble WordPress site and a newsletter that I think for the whole first year of its distribution went out to me, my former boss, and my mother.
And me.
And now when we press send on that, we're going out to over, thanks to a lot of different distributions lists that have opted in, we're going out to over 37,000 people every Friday.
Amazing.
With our... And yes, to your point, we have to stay on top of our game. I invest a lot of time in, continuing education that relates to farming practices, and so that we can ask the questions that you all have. That is a responsibility of the people behind all these sites that you trust. Is, yes, for us it's a livelihood and it's a passion, and that's the only reason why it's turned into a livelihood, because we love it so much, right? But at the same time, we're pressed with just
responsibility was a great word. I feel a responsibility. When you tell me that you went somewhere and that offer is no longer valid, and you ended up having to pay an extra $10 for your child to eat, or $20 if you have 2 children, or in my case $40 because I have 4 children. I take that to heart, and I'm like, oh man. And so we do, but that's one of our, since it is so popular, that we try to have someone on the phone verifying things on a regular basis. Right. So
there's a lot that goes behind it. And to Katie's point, no one like us, whether we're talking to you about produce or talking to you about something localized, like how to make the most of your life as a parent while you live in central Indiana, or wherever you live. I would assume that you've been able to network with other cities.
Every city, yes.
Yeah. So if you are watching, drop in the comments where you're from if you would like Katie to make some recommendations on who her colleagues are where you're at. And I forget what I was saying now.
Oh yeah, just that we want to be that resource.
We want to be that resource, and we are. I had a thought and it escaped me as I was trying to say, oh yeah, by the way, even if you're not localized, we can help you out. But anyhow, it is definitely a journey. Oh, I know what I was getting at. Behind every person like myself, Katie, all these sites that you come to see and you trust, there is always a team of people, not just the ones that you see on camera or the ones that you identify with through the social media feeds, but from my perspective, there's about 6 people that if it weren't for their dedication, there would be no produce moms. It would not exist. And
like for us, like when I first started, I didn't have a team that essentially that was on staff, but my team was my family, and they still are. And that, like, we have families, and they've allowed us this opportunity. Like, my kids allow me to work when they take a nap. You know, like,
I know.
They have to.
It's a huge sacrifice.
But even your family is your team when you're just starting out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to check our pizzas.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So tell them where they can find you. Oh, it's looking really good.
Oh, it does look good. You can find Indie with Kids on indiewithkids.com, and this under the same name on every social media platform. Would love to have you follow us, join us, and we even have a really good list of places to get pizza.
Oh, do you? Well, your home kitchen,
Lori's
if you follow this recipe, your home kitchen, not mine. So Katie and I are going to eat this pizza. We're going to sign off and say goodbye. You can find us here every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And like I said, you can catch Katie with her broadcast on Tuesday nights.
At 9 p.m.
Yeah,
Eastern.
Tuesday nights. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And we're going to enjoy our pizza, Indie with Kids, the produce moms. But we all love our veggies, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. We will see you next Friday at 11 a.m.